Hello, Graveyard Talkers, and welcome to another episode of Graveyard Talk. And today we're here at Andersonville, the Confederate prison for Union soldiers down here in Georgia. We're going to do a little bit different this time, only because of the vastness of it. We're going to actually be driving the whole area. We're going to be talking to, or trying to converse with some of the prisoners that may have died here. I'm not quite sure if the prisoners who were released from here or who escaped from here actually would be here. So our efforts today would be to the prisoners who died and who are buried here. We will be taking a little tour of the cemetery here in a little bit. But in the meantime, Alex has got a bunch of questions he's going to ask. First thing I'm going to ask is, or let the spirits here know that Alex and I are not here to harm you. We're here just to talk to you and hear your story. We're going to circle the cemetery here one time, maybe twice, but probably just one time. We're going to go slow, and then we're going to take a run over to the cemetery where we're going to finish up the spirit box session. So to any spirits that are here today, would you like to talk to us? Alrighty, I heard yes in there at least once. So Alex, as we're driving, why don't you go ahead and ask your questions, one question at a time, and then I will work the spirit box while I'm driving.
Okay.
Up loud so everybody can hear you.
Okay. Let's see. The first one here is, did you have family here? Were you together with your father, brother, or maybe son?
All right, so I heard a son in there. What was your name and what was your son's name? I heard Neil and I heard Virgil. Now we'll have to do a little bit of research on that, because see if we can find a Neil and a Virgil with the same last name. That may be possible. Now there's some people here that I'm going to drop the camera for, so we don't get them on camera. So we're going to drop them right now. Yeah, how you doing today?
Good. Love your dog.
Thank you. Alrighty, Alex. So we heard Virgil and we heard Neil. Can you give us your last name?
Okay.
All right, we'll have to see if we pulled anything out of there. Alex, what is your second question for the spirits here?
Did you ever doubt if what you were fighting for wasn't worth being sent here?
No.
So I heard yes and I heard no.
Yeah, I definitely heard a no in there.
Yeah, and I heard some other things as well. And down below here, if I'm pointing at it right, that is, what was the name of that spring?
I think it's Providence.
Spring of Providence. And why don't you tell what the story about that one is, what you remember?
From what I seen online, I believe it was a storm came in after the men prayed, and the next morning water started gushing from the side of the hill. which gave all the prisoners much needed clean drinking water.
So now we're coming up here to just beyond it is where I think this is probably the creek.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be crossing the creek here just a minute. All right, Alex, why don't you go ahead and ask your third question?
If you had a chance, or if you had the chance, would you treat the guards like they treated you?
Well, let me stop right here and let me ask another question. How much of a salvation was this spring that popped up? Did you, because I heard a couple people mention water in there, a couple spirits mention water. How did this spring make a difference to you while you were here, if it made a difference at all? It was good. All right, so I heard it was good. So Alex, you want to know whether the prisoners, would they treat their captors, if things were switched around, would they treat their captors the way they were treated?
Mm-hmm.
If it was switched around where they became the captors and not the captive? So I heard, and I believe this is the creek here where they got their water from, and I heard that's really important. And I also heard effing right. Of course, they said the whole thing. We'll put it up there if we heard it. So yeah, they would treat them the same way. So there sounds like there's a little bit of animosity. What's your next question, Alex?
Were you one of the men that prayed for the water spring?
I heard yes, and I heard the living. So I heard yes, doom. Without it would have been doom, I guess. So this is the area we're at right now. Excuse me. The area right now is the South Gate.
Everything.
Heard something about what mission and a musket. So what was the importance of the South Gate to you guys? What was the South Gate used for? Okay, so for some, it said some, and I'm not sure what the South Gate was used for. So I'm going to assume that the water in the spring was salvation to you. I knew about the spring, but I didn't know that it was founded during the captivity here, the 14 months.
From our room.
Sure, and from our reign, it said. Alex, you got another question for the spirits?
I do. Do you remember dying here?
To the spirits, do you remember dying here? I think right here is, move up here just a little bit before we answer that question. We'll re-ask it again. There's the deadline. So the outer post is let me make sure I get both posts in here. The outer post is the stockade wall. The inner post is the deadline. If you were caught between those two, they would shoot and kill you dead on the spot. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. To the spirits who passed away here, do you remember dying here?
People do.
People do. Death. Yeah. So absolutely they remember dying here. Was your death a welcomed death? Fence is death. Fence is death. So right here, what you see here is the stockade, where the stockade would made a 45-degree turn. And of course the white post there would be the deadline post, where if you were caught between that and the stockade wall, that was the end of you. So Alex, you got another question?
I do. If it meant enduring your lives here a second time, would you have still fought for the Union?
So I guess that would be if you knew you were going to be prisoner here. If you had some type of magical power and you knew that you were going to be imprisoned here a second time, would you have refought? Well, I heard all kinds of things right there towards the end. I heard perhaps. So I'm hoping that the camera takes out the bouncing, because I actually have this sitting on my armrest here in the car, and I think the steadiness of it will take it out. Of course, on the left here you can see where the stockade wall makes its turn. You can also see the spring down there, the spring of Providence. You can also see the stream down there. What we're driving right now would be, looking at my compass, would be the southern stockade wall where it ended right here. You can see the building up there. That is the U.S. Ranger Station. And to the right, you can see the stockade wall. That would be the end of the camp. So from where we're sitting, let me just turn just a little bit this way, from where we're sitting to that stockade wall way up on the hill. 45,000 people were put here for 14 months. 45,000 people in that little area. What did the spirits here, what did you think of this compound when you got here? It stunk, overcrowded, there was no food. The worst thing. Mm-hmm. I heard disgust.
I think I heard horror.
Horror, yep, I heard that as well. So looking at the camp, I'm going to try to get a little bit more of the camp in line here. This is looking at pretty much more of I said camp, but pretty much more. This was Camp Sumter, I believe what this name was. Looking at the area here, where was the best place? Where closest to me is the south, furthest where the stockade's up there is the north. That would be west to where the springs are, east to where the far road is over there. What would be the best place for you to be here? Where was the prime spaces at? The stream here was horrible. That's what caused most of the disease here. You had no other drinking water before the spring, or or what was your thought about this, about the little stream that ran through here?
Yeah.
Moved in. One of the and that's history.
I heard something about history, and I heard mud there right at the end. Now, I also heard, I think it was Mary Ellen, one of the spirit guides were in there. Mary Ellen, are you taking care of the spirits here? Okay, so I don't know if any of the spirits here need your help to cross over. I would think by now. Hey, let me ask the spirits one question here. Has anybody else been out here to do a spirit session with you guys?
Sure.
I thought I heard second one. That's what I thought. I heard second one. So that would probably mean maybe I'm the second one. I don't know. I would think that there would have been a lot of people out here. So we're on the south side. We're going to go north. Alex, you got any more questions?
I do. I have one, it's kind of like a two-part.
Well, let's do the first part and then the second part, if we can do that.
Are there still the same amount of spirits here than many years ago?
So you want to know if the spirits are roaming this area here, or have some left and maybe gone to their home county, to wherever they lived. So to the spirits who died here, have any other spirits moved in, or have any other spirits moved out?
This is one. Not
So I guess that would lead us to believe that maybe some of the prisoners who survived and then died later, after they became spirits, after they became spirits, and say they were buried in Kentucky, let's say, if they were from, I think Kentucky was on the north. No, that would be right. Kentucky would be on the north. But maybe they were from Connecticut and they died here, or they survived and they went back up to Connecticut and then they passed away. But they were so moved by their fellow soldiers that they decided to come back here in spirit form. So that would make, if there were 30,000 plus soldiers that had died here, and some of the soldiers felt guilty, maybe survivor guilt, and they decided they wanted to come back here. Now instead of 30,000 or whatever the number here, we got another 3,000 or 4,000 soldiers who decided they wanted to come back here and be with their comrades who had passed away. What's your question? Your other question to it, Alex?
Oh, it was just going to be, if so, do you know where they went or where they are now? That's about it. But I think...
Or you mean if somebody left? So if a spirit left here, to the spirits here at Andersonville, if any spirits have left, are you still in contact with them? Do you know where they went? Good question, they said, and I heard who, where they went. So we'll have to listen when I edit. We'll listen really close to see if we can't figure out if the spirits know where they went to. You know, this stream is 161 years ago is when they were here. And, well, yeah, we would not want to go down here. There's venomous snakes in this area. But they even got a thing of the sinks. Is the sinks? Yeah, the sinks. So this is the area where the stream ran through. And here's, you guys, you'll see in a second here when I go by where the stream went. You know what? I don't think I'd want to drink out of it today. Knowing what this was and knowing how polluted it was with human waste, so we're right over the sinks. This is, I don't know how big of a stream it was back then. I don't know if there's any records on how, I'm sure there are records on how wide it is, because this looks like it's pretty wide. But, you know, it was probably just very slow moving. I don't see any water down there today that I can see. It looks like it's all pretty dried up. It's not the rainy season, so I don't know. So are there any spirits down here in the sinks right now?
No. There
was one. I heard there was one. I also heard there was 3 of them. So spirits are still visiting. Now I see some markers here. Oh yeah, that was the deadline and the outside wall. And I believe I heard at one time this road was here as well. All right, so this is getting a little bit long, so what we're going to do is right here, we're going to keep recording, but right here, we're going to break this, and we're going to do a 2-parter.